I'm so excited and really grateful that you all took the opportunity or took the time out of your very, very busy schedules to spend some time with us this morning at the Innovation Center. We have really had the opportunity to expand what we do and what we are able to bring to our community thanks to virtual connections. So we really appreciate the time that you've taken this morning. We are welcoming Angel Brown, who is going to talk with us about social media marketing, which is really like we're all trying to master that, right? So I'm just excited about what she's going to talk about because everybody's trying to figure out, how do I make Facebook work? How do I get people to see my stuff? And how do I get people to like my stuff on Instagram and make sure that my content that I'm working so hard on is actually getting to the people I want to see it. So I'm super, super excited, Angel, that you're here this morning. Before we get started, I'm going to ask Akosia Ponma to greet everyone. She's our program director. So Akosia, go ahead.
Hi, everyone. It's so good to see you guys and welcome. And Dr. Renda said it's been a privilege to be able to have all types of events virtually. And Angel, I would like to welcome you myself. I have my notes and my paper ready to take a couple of notes myself. So thanks again and enjoy, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, Akosia. So really quickly, I'm going to kick things over to Tiffany, who's our facilitator this morning. And she's going to kind of give the formal introduction for Angel, and then it'll be all completely in your hands, Angel. So Tiffany, are you able to pull up her bio and share that, or would you like for me to do it?
Yes, give me 2 seconds.
Okay, great.
All right.
And just so while Tiffany's doing that, if you have questions of Angel, please feel free to put them in the chat as we go through. After her presentation, we'll pull the questions and share them with her so she can ask them. If you would, as you're sharing your email, as you're sharing your questions, include your email address, just in case we can't get to your question during the session. We'll be able to share those questions with Ms. Brown and she can respond to you personally if she's so inclined. So make sure that when you are sharing your questions that you include your email address so we can follow up if we don't get to you during the session.
All right. So this is Miss Angel Brown. She launched her business in 2018, and it was in November of 2019, after being released from her corporate position as market president for iHeartMedia, that she began working as a female entrepreneur for full time. So stepping out on faith, she knew her value and purpose in lifespan beyond the corporate doors and glass ceilings. So prior to moving to Hampton Roads, Angel managed 5 radio stations in Mobile, Alabama, and 7 radio stations in Albany, Georgia, as vice president of sales and market president at Cumulus Broadcasting. Prior to her career in radio, Angel was senior account executive at NBC affiliate Channel 10. So Angel has been wildly successful in the broadcast industry, building lasting relationships over the course of 18 years in multiple states. She is certified as a manager in the radio industry by Radio Advertising Bureau. She also graduated from Rising Through the Ranks Management Training by Radio Advertising Bureau, broadcast music, and mentoring and inspiring women in radio. She's also been featured in Trade Magazine Radio Inc. as a future African-American leader in radio in 2014, 16, and 19. Would you like me to read some more, Dr. Rhonda?
Oh, I was going to say that's just plenty.
I was ready to keep rolling.
Let's all concede that Ms. Brown is highly qualified, highly experienced, and well positioned to tell us all what we need to know and to share her experience. So Angel, we're going to just let you take over and share with us what you have prepared for us today, because we don't want time to get away from us. So thank you for joining us, and take it away.
Sure. Thank you so much. I am just honored and humbled and grateful to be here in front of all of you. One of the things that you heard is I've been in the industry for a lot of years, and I haven't stopped, even though, I left iHeartRadio in 2019. In our industry, in the media industry, oftentimes there is a cycle, and the cycle happens where they purge nationwide. And so myself and part of my team members were released from our contracts in November of 2019. I share that with you because I want to share with you first my testimony. It was just truly a blessing when God closes a door to open another one. And he did that. So I was able to build on this business. And then I was able to use this business to help others. So that's what the first thing that I want to share with you. The first nugget that I want to leave with you is when you have a business and you begin to build your brand, make sure that you're reaching back to help those who are coming up behind you or who are running alongside you. And I believe in the power of empowering women, because empowered women empower other women. And so that's really important for me. It's also important as an entrepreneur that we empower each other. One entrepreneur has to empower another. So when we're looking at specific days like small business days, please, nugget number one, go ahead and post that you are a small business, especially on Small Business Day. I posted and asked, what small business can I go and support today? I got one response back. That was telling. That's not what I really came to talk about. What I wanted to share with you, in addition to what I do as an entrepreneur, is a lot of us, especially us who are getting started, because I have an infant business, but I've used my platform and what I've done in the corporate world to advance my business. But I also was blessed to join the Spartan family in February of this year as the director of marketing and corporate relations for athletics. So I have the privilege of doing social media, social branding, all things advertising from sun up to sundown. So I'm really excited about what it is that I have been blessed and with the talent to do. So I'm going to go ahead and get started and share my screen. I am on a Mac, so I'm going to hope that you can see it successfully as we look at it from a full screen view. Can everyone see that okay? All right, I'm gonna, as I advance, if you can't see it, let me know and I'll step out of it so that we can work through it. But here is our social, the platform that I put together for us, the presentation that I wanna share with you, social media marketing. So we're just gonna go ahead and dive right in as we already have. So I'm going to ask you, and if you have notes or you have a pen and piece of paper, please take notes. I will say this. I have a thank you card and I send out, and it says, thank you, the original form of social media. There is nothing wrong with pen and paper. We are in a digital world, and I think that's a great thing, but sometimes we have to go back to the basics because the pen and paper never die. Right? You never lose power with a pen and paper. So if you have a moment, write down what is your definition of marketing? It's very, very vast. It's a big word that encompasses so much: advertising, of course, relationships, networking, branding, messaging, communications. What is marketing for you? So we're going to talk a little bit more about that. Here's some definitions of what marketing is. It's the action or business of promoting or selling products or services, including market research and advertising. It's the activity that sets institutions or processes for creating communications, delivering and exchanging offerings that have value for customers, clients, partners, and our society at large. That is the Webster definition, if you will, of what marketing is. This is what I think it is. It's the ability to push a message to someone about something that they will need at some point. That's it. It's really simple for me. And I want it to be really simple for you. Can you push your message out to someone about something that they need at some point in time? I always believe in really great quotes because quotes fuel me. And here is one from Beth Comstock. She's the vice chair at GE. She says, you can't sell anything if you can't tell anything. Remember that. You can't sell anything if you can't tell anything. I used to teach my teams in radio that there are 4 sells. The first one is to sell yourself. You can't teach how to do that. You can't teach a smile. You can't teach the ability to be inviting. So you have to sell yourself first. As a business owner, as an entrepreneur, you have to sell yourself to stakeholders. You have to sell yourself to your audience, your target audience. You have to sell yourself to your teams who work alongside you to help make your business successful. You also have to sell yourself to your investors. So you can't sell anything if you can't tell it, which takes me to my next quote, which is pretty much every marketer. I think I stole it from someone, but I say it all the time, and that's facts tell, but stories sell. Facts tell, but stories sell. So if I ask you as an entrepreneur right now, tell me your story. Tell me your story. One of the reasons I say that's enough of my bio, because it's about me, and I'm not a big person about me, though my business is named Angel Brown Speaks. But it's about how do I empower? How do I encourage? How do I uplift? How do I create? And how do the skills and the talents that I've been given and the experience that I've been given translate and help other future business leaders? And that's the story that I tell. As I tell my story, I'll be adding today's story in. So I'm really excited about that. But make sure that you know that facts tell, but stories sell. So know your story and be able to articulate it. You have 30 seconds to do it in most business settings. Let's talk about social media though. How many social media platforms are out there? Random guess, feel free to put in the chat, but how many do you think are out there? I'll tell you, there's a bunch. There are, and if my memory serves me correctly, there are almost 60 platforms. And if you notice, new platforms happen every day. Parler is one of the newest ones that I've seen. It's a conservative platform that's used for conservative conversation. We have a lot of platforms, a lot of social media platforms, but what do you use yours for? As a business entrepreneur, what do you use yours for? Is it networking? Is it video sharing? Is it collaboration? Image sharing? Is it blogging or microblogging? What do you use yours for? All of these are relevant reasons to use social media. But let's talk about some specifically. Twitter is a platform. All you familiar with Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Those are on the screen right now. Every platform that you use is relevant, but the content must vary. I see way too many entrepreneurs, and I have done it myself, I will admit, where we put out something on Facebook and we go ahead and put it on Instagram and we put it on Twitter and it's the same message. And it shouldn't be. It should always be different. So let's talk about Facebook, or let's talk about Twitter first. Twitter is an immediate information. It's immediate. You need to get out that information right now. Most users are under the age of 50. The images live better than video. They're ideal for easy, digestible, textual content. That's what you use Twitter for. Easily digestible, textual content. I read about that earlier and I went, oh, I like that term. In essence, please don't use big words on Twitter. 6th grade level is the best for Twitter. Even though most users are under the age of 50, but you write on Twitter like you would in a newspaper. Facebook is ideal for advertising and lead generation. Most of those users are between the ages of 25 and 54, and they're highly targeted. You can highly target them through groups, through creating rooms. You can now highly target Facebook users, and all forms of content are available there, but intentional content. And we'll talk about intentional content in just a moment. Immediate information is on Instagram. Most users are under 50. I'm sorry, this is actually, and I copied this one, but let me tell you a little bit about Instagram. Instagram is for your 25 to 54-year-olds. They are all about video. They're all about content. You don't have to worry about the digestible contextual content here. What you most want to worry about is making sure that that message is quick and relevant and your videos are under 1 minute. That is the big thing for Instagram. Videos must be under 1 minute. Pinterest, anybody on Pinterest? I go there to see, oh good, I go there to see what kind of decor and what kind of creative ideas I can put together. Pinterest is all about images and more images. Most of us are 25-year-old plus that are watching or looking at Pinterest, but over 90% of the users purchase something from Pinterest, from this platform. So if you're an entrepreneur and you have a creative product, put it on Pinterest. 90% buy from Pinterest. LinkedIn. I hope every business owner should be on LinkedIn. Please find me under Angel Brown for LinkedIn. I want to make sure I connect with you. This is a business to business platform. If you have a business that is focused on business to business as opposed to business to consumer, or more business to business rather than business to consumer, like mine is, then you should be on LinkedIn. You should be on LinkedIn and you should be relevant on LinkedIn. It goes beyond sending out a message saying, hey, I saw your profile, I'd like to connect. Would you be interested in? I get all of those from every insurance company possible. But how are you relevant and how does your business better serve their business? So it's about lead generation. Most users there are between 30 and 50. Content is critical. This is about business. This gives you the opportunity to position yourself as an expert on this platform. So it's all about business, which means politics aside, social injustice or social content aside, it's focused on strictly business to business. And then TikTok. Anybody on TikTok yet? Scared of TikTok right now. I'm gonna get there. But if you notice, it's one of the newer platforms in marketing that most downloaded apps in the world. TikTok has the most in the world. Most users are teens and tweens. So if you're focused on that age group, that is a great place to be. But you must post videos that are 15 seconds. And the video should be able to be duplicated by other users. If you haven't been on TikTok, or if you are on, then you know that usually what happens is there's a song and a dance, and everybody has to duplicate that dance. The mom, the dad, some of the grandparents. You've seen that, right? So I think Megan Thee Stallion is one of the biggest ones right now with the body song. And that is what is trending right now on TikTok. So you have that platform as well if you want to engage teens and tweens. But I will say, if you're going to do that from a product base, make sure that you're doing it, that it's so engaging and so catchy that it catches on. So here I have a few questions for you that I want to ask you. And I want to start with the first one. What platforms are you using? We've talked about six platforms. Which ones are you using? And is your business platform and your personal platform different? If you said, no, my business platform and my personal platform aren't different, then I want you to go back to number one. And I want to ask again, what platforms are you using, but specifically for your business? Are the followers of your personal platform the same as your business platform? Oftentimes we do that too. Everybody who joins our personal platform, they also join our business platform. But is that who you're really targeting? And we'll talk about targeting in just a minute. Is your content the same on your personal and business platform? How often do you see your personal platform or someone's personal platform that has a message, and then right below it is their business platform that has a message too? It's the exact same one. So what does it do? It forces you to keep scrolling. How often are you posting? That's really relevant. And because life moves so fast, we don't post consistently. At least I don't. And so we have to do better. It's just part of what we do. And where are your business followers? Let me move my screen for just a second. Where are your business followers going after your post? That's a really big question. Where are they going? Are you sending them somewhere? Meaning, are you sending them directly to your website? Or are you just posting just for likes? Because if you're sending them to your website, it's going to definitely affect your website traffic. And if you're selling on your website, it's going to directly affect your conversion rate, which we'll talk about in just a moment. If you have any questions, feel free to write it in the chat, and Tiffany can stop me at any time and ask me questions. So let's talk about the 8 marketing steps. There are 8. And here they are. Set your social media goals. See, what we do is we get on social media and we get on it at night or after work or in between work. None of us do it at work, right? None of us. So we get on and we check out what's happening in our world. And we're like, oh, I like that. So I'm going to repost it. And we do it haphazardly. We do it just because. Found this great quote, because y'all know I love quotes. Found a great one that says, dust settles, I don't. I was like, oh, I'm going to post that right now. But is it relevant for me right now at this hour, at this moment? What's the purpose of it? And does it drive my traffic? So set your social media goals. Know your target audience. Establish metrics. Know your competition. Let's create engaging content. This, we have to get past the likes. We don't and should not be posting for likes. We should be posting for engagement. There's one thing that I want you to remember: post for engagement, not for likes. Prioritize and make your post timely. I recently did not do a timely post. It was Labor Day. I posted at like 9 o'clock that night. Not timely. So make sure that you're timely. Review your results and then communicate that with your teams. So let's talk about step 1. Let's set the goal. What's the end game? When you're on your social media pages for your business, what is the end game? What do you want to accomplish? Before you hit send, what will it do for you? What will this message do for you? So is it to exist? Is it to sell a product? Is it to be known before you're needed? That is a big one. That's branding within itself. Remember the definition that I gave you: a message to someone about something that they can use at some point in their life or in time. So be known before you're needed. Is it to build buzz around an event, or is it just to create a niche, a group? So know your end game. Step 2, your target audience. This is huge for us in the industry. Who are you wanting to talk to? Your family and friends? Is that who follows your business? Other business owners. We talked about LinkedIn. If you're trying to target other business owners, most of your content probably needs to go on that platform. Is it local leaders? Maybe professionals. What about students? Maybe TikTok is a better spot. But once you figure out who you want to talk to, then become even more granular with it. I want you to get really granular in your thinking from a social media marketing perspective. How granular? Identify and pinpoint who. Specifically age. Are they 18 to 34? 35 plus? Are they 55 plus, now are senior citizens? Are they local? Are they regional? Are you targeting people nationally? Oftentimes, and I'll share one of the things that I would often see, especially when I was in the radio industry, I would always get flyers for different events. One rapper is coming to another, one location, and I would always get these flyers, and I never knew where. Because what would happen is the flyers would say, coming to 604 Granby Street. I don't know where that is. Luckily, I live in the 757, and many of you do. But if I said coming to 408 St. Charles Avenue, there isn't a St. Charles in this area. Or 2400 Dolphin Street, there isn't a Dolphin Street in this area. So where is that exactly? So when you're posting, make sure that you cover every possible detail, because remember, social media defies geographical boundaries. Social media defies geographical boundaries. You have the ability to target and reach people long beyond the Hampton Roads area, long beyond Virginia. So make sure that you are very granular in what you are or mentioning and talking about on social media? Are you targeting females or males or both? What about ethnicities? What about groups? LGBTQ communities, Black or brown people, groups. What do those groups look like? Are you targeting those groups or not? Let's talk about metrics next, which is step 3, how to create a benchmark. I told you there's over 60 social media metrics that we should be looking at, but for small businesses, I want us to focus on focus on 6. We're focusing on 6. I added one because it's very, very important. It's called your click-through rate. We'll talk about that in a second. But first, let's focus on your reach. Who are you targeting? How many people and where are they located? Then in your engagement rate. If you're able to pull your Google Analytics from the back ends of your websites, you want to pull your engagement rates. How are people engaging you? How are they talking to you? Or is there a push-pull communication that's happening? Or is it just you pushing out content? Share your rates, which is also known as an amplification rate. So what I want you to be able to do is identify, especially when you're in your social media platforms and you're pulling some of these analytics, identify who is pushing the message alongside you. So if Angel Brown Speaks pushes out a message and my team, Aisha McCullum, pushes it out as well, then I also know that there's an amplification rate that's happening because her viewers or her followers are totally different from mine. So that's how your message is amplified or shared. Click-through rate is one that I added because I thought this was very important. When people go to your social media page, we talked about where you direct them. If you're directing them to your website, are they able to find your website easily? Is it in your bio or is it in the content of the post? How do they get there? They need to be able to get there easily and click on it. That's a click-through. You need to know, are your social media marketing campaigns forcing a higher click-through rate? Bounce rate is another one. Once they click through and they get to wherever you're directing them to, let's say it's your website, do they immediately leave? You need to know that bounce rate, and you learn that through your website as well, your website database or your website data backend. On the back end, you pull your data and you should know what your bounce rate is. It's important to know that because when people go to your website or go to the platform that you're sending them to, what are they doing when they get there? Are they immediately turned off? Do they choose to go somewhere different? What is it is it not functioning well? What is it that's causing your bounce rate to happen? You want a very low bounce rate, but a high click-through rate. And then conversion rate. The conversion rate is extremely important because if you are selling a product on your site through social media and then forcing or pushing to your website, you want to know what that conversion rate is. You want to know who's buying from you. How often are they buying from you? Now you have loyal users, but how often are you getting new business users as well? So conversion rate is extremely important. So those are some of the metrics that you should be having at your access and having at your disposal. And we'll talk about why. Step 4, know your competitors. This is what I really like. What are they doing? I used to have my team members, they would always say, well, they said, and they said we can't, and they said we shouldn't. And I always say, who's they? So it's important to know who they is. So who are they that you're up against? So know your competitors, review what they're doing, study what they're doing, question why they're doing it, and then counter. And what I mean by counter is, if you have a competitor who's on Twitter and you're not, and you're on Facebook, and you think or see that they're having some engagement on Twitter, don't run over to Twitter and say, okay, now my turn. I'm going to do what they do. Counter by figuring out what it is that they're doing. Question, how are they doing it? Is it content driven? Is it targeted audience driven? Don't emulate. I'm sorry, it's okay to emulate. It's not okay to intimidate or to imitate. So make sure that you are focused on what can you do differently that separates you from your competitors? But more importantly, what can you do to ensure that you are rising above the clutter of those competitors? So when you're on your platforms, whatever that platform is, make sure that when you're on that platform, you know what your competitors are doing, but you're doing something that separates you from everyone else. Example, if you're wearing t-shirts, I have t-shirts. I have one that says words matter. This is one of my t-shirts because words do matter. But there's plenty of people that have t-shirts. I only have 4. There's companies that have, Powers and Tees has tons of t-shirts. I'm not trying to compete with Powers and Tees. I'm just trying to be me. They don't have a shirt that says words matter. So I made my own. So make sure that you are focusing on what your competitors are doing, but you don't have to necessarily do what they do. What you have to do is do something different that's going to stand you out from them. Engaging content. So what are you posting? More pictures, video longer than a minute. Please don't post video longer than a minute. We have an attention span that's really short. When I was in iHeart, there were studies that were done. The attention span of most humans now is 8 seconds. 8 seconds. And then we're done. So make sure your videos or whatever you're posting is really short and quick, captures the attention, gives them just enough to come back. Are you retweeting or reposting? So ask yourself, what does this post for my business and my brand do for me? What does it do for me? How does it engage my business? Engagement is far more than just likes. So are people talking? Are they talking to you? Are you asking them questions where they can talk to you? And are they talking back? Remember, it's quality over quantity. I want to stick right here for 1 second on step 5 because engaging content is the most relevant. That alongside of targeted audiences are the most relevant when you talk about social media marketing. So let's talk about video content. Digital videos drive 82% of web traffic. That's huge. If you're not posting video, you're missing out. When was the last time, and I recently watched today's show, actually yesterday, but when was the last time you seen a picture go viral? Not that I can remember. Most video goes viral. So if you want to make sure that you're engaging, if you want your social media posts to have legs, then you need to be in the digital video space. Stories are on most platforms now, including LinkedIn. So you can even put videos in those stories. In-feed videos are on major platforms, including all the ones that we just talked about. So step 6, let's be timely. Are your posts timely? Holiday posts should be timely and unique to you. Please, please do not grab a picture off of Google or that your friend sent you and post it on your Facebook, your social media, your business platform, and put your logo on top of it. Feel free to plan ahead. For example, I happened to be at the Gaylord in DC last December. And outside they have the huge statues or monument of all the soldiers representing each of the armed forces. So I stood in front of it, had my friend take pictures, and I took multiple pictures and I used that. But I didn't use it until Memorial Day and Labor Day. And those were important times when we're focused on veterans, but I had to plan ahead. So make sure that you're planning ahead. And remember, because of the algorithms of social media, oftentimes they'll post content greater on the following day than they necessarily do that day. So make sure that you're doing it early enough in the day where more people see it, as opposed to later on in that day. Are your posts accurate? This is really important right now because in social media, actually online content right now, there's a lot of inaccuracies that are happening in online content. People are able to manipulate pictures. They're able to put filters on everything. I don't filter anything on purpose. My daughter, who is a beautiful young lady who's 27 years old in the marketing industry. I sent pictures when I was in DC recently. She sent them back with all these filters. Mom, this light look better. I don't do filters because I need it to be authentically me. Your business is the same. Your post must be authentically you. If you change anything, the slightest of things will question the integrity of your company. So please be careful on your filters and your posts and make sure they are accurate. People can do a lot of things and manipulate a lot of pictures now. And so we want to make sure that we're not reposting what is not accurate. Anticipate what is happening that could potentially affect your business. Anticipate what's happening that could potentially affect your business. That's really important right now, especially in our climate, in this day and age. You need to anticipate what's going to happen. What does 2021 look like for you? Have you already started laying out your plan? Does your plan include your social media goals, your metrics, and what happens? How do you pivot should something happen? How do you pivot should something happen? Step 7, let's review the results. You must take time to study your business. What is it doing? You should do this monthly. This should be a review monthly with your team, or just you sitting down and saying, am I achieving my benchmarks? Am I seeing platform engagement now? Or am I post driving the message that I really want people to know and to talk about? Share it with your team. All of us have to have a team. And I know there's some businesses on here, or business or entrepreneurs who are just getting started, or entrepreneurs who say, it's just me. And I'm going to say, oh, but when mom listens, or when your significant others listens, or when your child listens, that is your team. Your girlfriend, your good friend, whoever that is your team. Your board of directors. We all should have a board of directors. Those are the people that are around us that help uplift us and help encourage us, but also help give us advice that we may not, on things that we may not really be versed in. So have your board of directors. So share your metrics with your team. It's almost like that accountability. You know, January is coming up and we're about to all do our resolutions. I do the same one every year. I'm going to lose weight. It happens every year. I don't ever lose any weight. Because I usually tell only myself, because my husband will say, didn't you do that last year? And I don't want to talk to him about it. So what I do is I'll say I'm losing weight. And then I have no accountability partner. No one says, Angel, did you go to the gym today? So it's important that you have an accountability partner, even in business. Those who help you. The reason that it's really important to have those metrics is because, and to manage that data, is because you're looking for investors. As business owners, we should be looking for who's going to invest in our company, whether it's time, whether it's trade through other business opportunities, whether it's those who can help us, brand strategists, marketing executives, business strategists, any of those. Photographers, you should all have a team. And so we all have teams. And so when you start looking for future investors, people to invest and pour into your business, financially or not, you need to have this data. You need to be able to say, I took my social media marketing and I created a campaign and I took it from here to here. And that's why I'm successful. And that's why I need you to invest. So make sure you have that information. Let's give some quick examples. I love to do examples. So if anybody has any questions, feel free to put them in the chat and Tiffany will definitely ask me. But let's do some examples. Y'all all have seen Just Do It, right? We all know it's Nike, correct? Yes, perfect. So here's the success of Nike. The lesson with this message, they post it all the time. It's simplicity. It's simplicity at its finest. It doesn't need to be explained. Why? Because they've done it for so long. I was told yesterday, there's a picture that we've used and we use it, it's overused. What I learned in television a while ago is that if you get tired of the message, or if you get tired of the brand, do it 10 times more. Because while you're tired of it, it has yet to reach the masses. Think about it. How long has Nike been just doing it? A very long time. You don't think their marketing team's like, can we try something different? At some point, I'm sure one of them said, let's do something different. But this works. They don't even have to put the name Nike on it anymore. It's memorable. It stands out. When you're tired of the message, make sure you do it 10 times more. Here's a good one. One of my favorites, because I'm an advertising junkie, is Dove. This was a successful campaign. Real beauty should be shared. Remember they did the Real Beauty marketing campaign. They did an advertising campaign. They talked about, they had all these different women in white bras, white underwear. They were different sizes, different complexions. They were absolutely beautiful. They talked about how beautiful they are. All of them independently are. Then they took it one step further and they did the Dove's Real Beauty Should Be Shared contest on Facebook. What was great about that was they asked their friends to tell them why their friends represented real beauty. That was engagement. They asked a question and they wanted to get real-time response. They wanted to get answers. So they had engagement now. And they created a prize. In keeping with their brand, though, this was really exciting for me because they didn't offer an iPad or iBuds or a PS5 or all of that stuff. What they did was they made those people the next faces of Dove. It was right in line with their business plan, which I thought was very, very intelligent on the marketing team side. Here's two epic fails. These are some of my favorite. Did y'all know Colgate did frozen dinners? I had no idea. None. Epic fail. Colgate decided to put out frozen dinners. It made no sense. They put it in the same brand of Colgate. What's the lesson here? Know your strength. What is your business strength? Everyone has a strength. Every business has a strength, unless you're Walmart, which Walmart still has a strength of low price. But every business has a strength. So know your strengths and don't deviate from it. If you are, and I think I saw a good friend of mine on this call, Shantae Peterson, if you are focused on, and your business is about massage therapy and really making sure you work me out, because she did for me many times, I love her for it. But if that is your focus and you're now moving into vaginal rejuvenation, it's okay to speak on that. And it's okay to let everyone know that you have that service. But ultimately, massage is what your strength is. It's what you're really good at. It's what your business has been, the foundation of your business. So you focus on that foundation. Colgate missed the mark here. Here's another one. This one was really interesting. This was Sony. This was an epic fail. If you can see the post, the actual billboard here, PlayStation, it's a portable, it's white is coming. Now, they use this on billboards and on social media and on different platforms. It's very bold. The idea was they were saying that PlayStation has always been a black console. It's now going to be a white console. It's going to be offered as a white console. But the way they did it caused major controversy. The way they did it was they had a white woman holding the face of a younger black woman, as you can see, in more of a aggressive, I got you way. And that really became an issue, a racial issue that Sony had to face. They didn't do very well, let me add, in addressing this, because they came back with, but the photography is stellar, which is not quite how you want to address anything from a public relations standpoint. So Sony had an epic fail there. Here are the takeaways, because I want to make sure that I have enough time to listen to you or get your questions in. So here are the takeaways. Quality over quantity. Message beyond your product. If you have a product, make sure that you message beyond that. You message beyond that by addressing those who you want to engage, and engage them first and then sell your product. Make sure you spell check. Make sure you service beyond the product. So if someone buys and they're not happy, I promise you they're 10 times more likely to tell people that what they didn't like about the product than what they did. So as an entrepreneur, make sure that you address everybody who buys from you by first thanking them and creating that relationship, because referrals are critical. Even when your product is not up to their standard, or when you have issues with it, make sure that you are focused there as well. Engage influencers. Young people love to do what other young people do. I cannot talk to my 19-year-old son and his friends. I am not in that space, but my 19-year-old son can talk to his friends. So make sure you engage influencers, people that can help shape your message and create and push out your vision on social media. So if you are older and you are not on TikTok and you are marketing and trying to target teens or tweens, find a teen and a tween that can help you do it, but don't do it yourself. Sometimes we have to engage our influencers and they become our testimonials. Push your message and pull the response. Send your audience where you want them to go. We talked about that. That is critical. And then create lasting impressions, lasting messages that are memorable and are engaging. So final thoughts. Tie your social media posts to your business goals. If you're not, you're just adding to the online clutter. That is my final quote for the day. What questions do you have for me? Hopefully I gave you some good information, hopefully.
All right, so we do have a few questions. The first one is posts that are for engagements and not for likes. Can you explain the difference between posts that are for engagements and posts that are technically just for likes?
Yes. So let me give you the story first, because facts tell, stories sell, right? So I was sitting with a congressman, and we had been in a meeting, their meeting, for their monthly meeting on gun rights. And it was very controversial. And he voted against gun rights. And immediately he posted out about voting against gun rights. And he wanted to see how many people liked him, how many people liked the post. So we sat for coffee and talked about what we can do from a strategic planning perspective. And the whole time he was focused on just this. This is all he was doing as I was talking. And I said, well, would you like me to be quiet? Tell me what you need. And he says, I got to figure out what the post is. And I said, well, are you posting for likes? And he said, I have 39 likes. And I went, but does it matter? Does it matter? I share that with you because the difference is people like it and they scroll. We don't want people to scroll as an entrepreneur. What we want people to do is to like it and then to talk about it and to be so engaging that they either go and buy your product, they invest in your service, or they share it with someone else. A like is just a button, but a like does not make you money as an entrepreneur. Pushing the message to someone else and saying, hey, Dr. Rhonda, this is the right person for you to have a conversation with. This is who I know you have a need, and this is the person who can help fill that need. That's when you as an entrepreneur sees return on your investment. That's when you as an entrepreneur sees business increase and develop. And that's why engagement is far more important than likes.
Okay, next question. What if your target benefits a wide range of individuals in age and sex? Let's see. What is your purpose?
So here's the deal. You can't be all things to all people. You can't. Unless we're Walmart, right? Unless we're Nike, we can't be all things to all people. I used to say this and when I was in television. I had a Ford dealership who would always say, you know, Angel, I need to target everybody. We can't. Who's your core audience? That's what I want you to really define. Who's your core audience? Everyone can wear a t-shirt. I have a t-shirt, but I'm not focused on everyone. Who am I focused specifically on? Females, African-American females who are entrepreneurs, who care about language. So they read Words Matter. African-American females who are Christian, who want to wear a shirt that says prayer, power, purpose. So you need to make sure that your target, while it's everyone, who's your core? It's the 80-20 rule, the Pareto theory. 80% of the business happens from the top 20% of your customers. Who's the 20%? That's who we go after. I hope that helps.
All right, so the next one is a little broader. All right, so can you please elaborate on the different algorithms for the various platforms?
Yeah, so I'll tell you that every platform has an algorithm. Google Analytics has one. There's Analytical Owl that's out there. There's another one, I think it's Engage. But every platform has algorithms. And and honestly, that is the technical side of the business that I know nothing about. What I do know is that there are times that you are seeing more, and you probably see this in social media, you will see more posts from one person maybe than the other. And so there's an algorithm that Facebook, that Twitter, that all the platforms use when they're pushing out messaging. What you need to be able to do is understand what that algorithm is. So it's always on the back end. So usually if you have an IT or a webmaster or web designer, those people can help you pull those algorithms. Make sure you engage your web designer or your webmaster. Have them pull those algorithms for you. That way you can see how your posts are being prioritized. So for example, I know with Instagram, again, when I post, usually most of my engagement or my likes don't happen until the next day, because usually that post may not be priority for them that day. They do post more frequently if something's trending, which is why you see so many hashtags. Now, I think I do 5 hashtags. That's way too many for me, because I have to think about who they are. I'm like, hashtag Angel Brown, hashtag Angel Brown Speaks. I have to think of all of these, hashtag 757. I'm like, okay, this is relevant, right? But you will see sometimes posts that have 25 hashtags underneath them, because they're trying to get into the trend mode so that particular post can be seen more. So it's really important to hashtag for that reason. And that's going to definitely change some of the algorithms that they have, but I don't know the reasons of how they formulate those algorithms in order to create the content that they create right now from a platform base. But make sure that you engage your webmaster on that.
All right, next question. What is your suggestion when developing a website for a business?
Find a great website designer. Don't do it, please don't do it yourself. Invest into that. Now, there are website designers, and I have a phenomenal one. Tanya is absolutely amazing on my site. I have a website designer who lives here who does this, but there are website companies that will create designs for you, but really great websites can get into the tens of thousands. As new business, I'm a new business owner. I have no desire to spend out $10,000 for a website, because then I have to tell people that it's there. So make sure that you have a solid website, and it doesn't have to be really vast. My website isn't vast. I think I have 4 pages on it. It's really quick. It's who I am. It's what I do. It's what I can do for you, and it's how to reach me. That's it. So be very strategic about your website, but find a really great designer. The one who can capture your message, not theirs. The one who's going to capture your message, not theirs. So, and the way that's, you can find, they're out there. You can actually literally, probably some of the people on this call can help you with that. Or you can go to LinkedIn and reach out and ask for web designers, ask to see their work. And then more importantly, once you find that right person, collaboration is key. Make sure that they capture your vision.
Okay, next question is, how do you handle customer complaints on a business social media page?
Yes. So the first thing you do is you don't ignore it. You simply, it's a really simple message. The more simplistic, the better. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. What I'd like for you to do is to DM me your contact information and let's talk. So there's 3 steps to handling objections. This is what I used to teach in radio. And when you're in business, you will have objections. And when they're public, it's a little bit daunting. It can be like, oh my gosh, especially people start to chime in. So you isolate. Is that the only issue? You gain agreement, but you also empathize. So thank you. I appreciate you. That's empathizing. You want to empathize with that person. I appreciate you sending this to me. I'm so sorry to hear that. If that is the issue, we need to address it. Please send me your information. And then I would immediately, as soon as I get it, immediately call. I am so sorry. If you have a team, do not let your team call. You call, and then you delegate that to your team to handle. There's nothing greater than having someone feel empowered and feel important than to have the CEO or the founder of a company call them directly. So make sure that you just take a moment to say, I am sorry, I saw your message, my team is working on it, or I'm sorry, I saw your message, I am working on it, let me now fix it for you. I recently had a call that was from an irate person. The biggest thing I could do was let her talk. Once she talked, then I said, I understand. That was the first thing I said to her. I understand. I appreciate the conversation. I appreciate you telling me what it is. I took responsibility for it, the issue, when the issue wasn't even mine to take responsibility for. However, I did it because ultimately I have to own the mistake. As an entrepreneur, it all rests on me. I hope that helps.
All right, next question. Get back to the document. All right, should you keep posts simple or dig deeper? Or should there be a mixture of which we should focus on?
Well, it depends on how you define as simple or deep. I keep my posts simple, but my message is deep, or could be, or I perceive it to be deep. Some people might think, oh, that's just, just a message. But I think they're deep. I think I recently posted, I'm thankful in all things. I didn't put the turkey, happy Thanksgiving, everybody. I didn't do that because I felt it would fall in the clutter. So just a black and white picture that says I'm thankful for all things. So I don't know what your definition of deep is, but I will say this, simplicity is key and critical, because even if the message is deep and I don't understand it, or if it goes over my head, I'm not engaged in it.
Okay, next question is, how do you know when to pay for ads on social media versus trying to get organic traffic?
So I would say that varies. I would say paying for ads is when you know that you're going to see a return on investment, when it's a time-sensitive issue. So if you, let's say you're looking to do a dinner en blanc event, and it's focused on your business, and it's a hard cutoff time. You probably want to super post, or to post and pay for ads so that more people can see it. But I would only do it if I'm trying to center buzz around an event or something that's happening where that event is not free. That's a paid event, so that you can then use that expense and offset it with your investment, or the return on investment.
All right, next question is, what would you say to the young entrepreneurs that want to utilize social media to build their brand from the bottom with 0 followers? How do you motivate yourself to not give up when you have low engagement or likes?
So we've all been there, right? We've all started out with 0 followers. Every business, every brand has started out with 0 followers. So the first thing you do is you connect with other business owners. That's the first thing you do. And then you follow or you engage who they're following. Not necessarily competitors, but remember I talked to you about a board of directors. It's those people around you who have an insight or have knowledge about something that you might not know much about. For example, my webmaster. I don't know anything about the algorithms and how they're created, but she knows how to pull those for me. I'm going to engage her, and I'm going to figure out who else she is engaging. Matter of fact, because I know she doesn't work just for me, but for multiple companies, I'm going to then reach out to those companies because I have a service. My business is service-based. My business is focused on business development. So I'm going to reach out to those other businesses. I'm also going to focus on LinkedIn, and I'm going to post content. But remember, followers and engagement takes time. It doesn't happen overnight. So when you have 0 followers, that's okay. It's now moving beyond the 0 followers. And so that happens when you are engaged in your social media marketing daily, initially. You have to be engaged daily, initially, so that your followers will increase. I don't have enough followers. I want more. But I don't go down the list and go follow, like. You have to be strategic about who you're following, because before you know it, you're going to have, forgive the language, but you're going to have somebody twerking and somebody just hanging out and somebody, throwing up gang signs because you don't know who you're following. So be very careful about that and be very intentional about who you let follow you. It is okay not to have tons of people following you because you have a niched audience. Once you are able to move past that niche audience and expand, then your followers increase. Don't be all things to all people. Just be great at what you do with the people that matter the most. I hope that helps.
All right, that is actually all the questions we have, and it is 11:03, so good timing.
Great timing.
I want to thank you for participating in our event, and thank everyone for attending. This was an amazing presentation. You gave some awesome information. And again, I just want to say thank you for participating in our event and being our guest speaker.
And thank you so much. And thank you to everybody that was on. I see your notes, and thank you for the kind words.
If anyone has any other questions, you can, or for Miss Angel, you can contact her. Her contact information is in the chat. Also, there is a survey link for the Norfolk State University Innovation Center, which is also in the chat. It would be awesome if everyone could go ahead and complete the survey. And I believe our contact information for the center is also in the chat. So again, if you have any questions for us or Miss Angel, you can definitely contact us. You can contact her directly. And I want to thank everyone for attending today.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Angel. And thank you everybody for coming. You guys have a wonderful afternoon.